Hey there, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. It is Denise Salcedo, and today we are going to be chatting our SummerSlam 2022 preview and predictions. But as you all know here, I never do these alone, or at least I try not to. I always like to bring on a spectacular, a marvelous, an extraordinary guest. And today we have a very special joining us, very special person joining us here today, because we actually did our SummerSlam 2021 predictions together, and now a whole year later we are back once again. So ladies and gentlemen, please welcome from Cultaholic Wrestling, Tom Campbell. Hello there, Tom.
Oh, hello. Are we doing it now? Oh, wow.
We're live now.
Well, this is a treat. Hello.
Hello there. Surprise.
I thought we were pretending.
It's a fake show. You know, we're just all playing pretend here.
Oh, I thought it was just me and you having a chat. Oh, this is embarrassing. How embarrassing. Hi, Denise. How you doing?
Drinking on the job, Tom. I mean, come on. We got to get it together here.
Well, look. I'm celebrating because this looks like a different location, because it is, because I am in my hotel in Los Angeles and I am ready for Denise's wedding, which I've been invited to. I say invited to. Didn't get an invite. I assume it was lost, so I've just flown out here anyway. I'm ready for the main do. I presume I'll be sat near the front. That's fine. I brought my DJ kit so I can do the wedding disco after. That's all fine. I mean, that's the plan, right, Denise?
That's the plan. I mean, hey, we still got plenty of time. Like, that's all you got to do. Like, hop on a plane, fly yourself to Los Angeles.
What are you talking about?
And that's it. Like, you know what? You're here. Let's just do it. Let's just do it, Tom.
It's been all the celebrities so far in Los Angeles. It's been brilliant. Saw all the celebrities.
You saw
Shania
all of them.
Twain.
The first one was Hollywood Salcedo, though.
Hollywood Salcedo was the first one. And
I love
the only
it.
one.
I love it. So, Tom, do you remember that exactly 1 year ago, you and I did the SummerSlam 2021 predictions together?
Oh,
is that still in your memory?
Was. It's, you know what? It's burned in to my memory when I'm awake. It's burned into my retina when I'm asleep. It walks beside me as the pinnacle of it's that, and doing a breakfast show with Michelle Heaton from the band Liberty X. Those are the two pinnacles of broadcasting that I have reached. And look at this. One of those two was going to happen again. And since Michelle Heaton's not returning my calls, it had to be the Denise Salcedo one. So this is an honor and or a privilege.
And I also know you're very, very much booked up. You know, it's in the late hours and all of that. So thank you very much for making time for little old me to come onto this channel and to chat some WWE Summerslam predictions.
My pleasure. Well, I'm excited for the wedding on Sunday. I can't wait to be there in person. I brought my special blue suit and everything.
I love it. I love it. Alrighty. So for those of you who are here today, we're going to go ahead and get started in just a second. But before we do, I should let you guys know that this video is brought to you by DraftKings. Before we hop into our match predictions, please let me share a message from DraftKings. WWE's biggest summer event of the year is this weekend. To celebrate this historic event, DraftKings, an official gaming partner of WWE, is putting you in the center of the action with $25,000 up for grabs this weekend. Playing for your share of $25,000 is easy. All you have to do is download the DraftKings app, sign up using promo code Salcedo, and enter DraftKings free-to-play WrestleMania pool. The link to download the app is in the description portion of this video. That is right. In order to download the app, just go to the description portion of this video, click on the link, and make sure to use the promo code Salcedo. When you're playing on DraftKings, you answer questions like, who will make a surprise appearance and who is walking away victorious? A lot of easy questions, some fun stuff in there, so make sure you guys go ahead and check it out. The customers with the most correct answers will get their share of the $25,000 in prizes that is up for grabs this weekend. Now, if you tell me, that is super awesome, because $25,000 in prizes up for grabs this weekend alone is incredible. Download the DraftKings app now and use the promo code Salcedo to enter the free WWE Prediction Challenge with $25,000 up for grabs throughout the weekend. So use promo code Salcedo now and enter the free $25,000 contest only at DraftKings, an official gaming partner of WWE. Thank you so much to DraftKings. Here we go. Let's get this show started.
Nailed it.
Yeah.
Spot on live read. Excellent.
Thank you very much. I always get really angsty during this. I'm like, gotta make sure I get it in there, make sure I say the right words.
You made it your own as well. You read the script and you made it your own.
Made it my own. I appreciate it. All right, Tom. So let's get into this. Before we get into the actual matches and the predictions and all of that, technical stuff, I want to ask you, what is your interest level heading into SummerSlam this year? How are you feeling?
Now, it's funny because this year, all eyes have been for us in the UK on Cardiff in September for Clash at the Castle. That's been our excitement. The SummerSlam was coming along, and initially we thought, it's not going to be as loaded as we thought it was. But then, Denise, a few days ago, don't know whether you heard, Vince McMahon retired, and Triple H has taken to his throne as the head of creative. And I have been buzzing for SummerSlam probably more than I was until a week ago, with Triple H now the guy on top of everything. So excited to see what we're going to see. We've heard rumors that he's going to make some sort of creative splash at this event. So we're going to see some of those little flecks of Paul Levesque wrestling show goodness. And this kind of feels like the start of a new era. So I'm really up for it. How about you?
I think it's definitely the start of a new era. It's very clear. We're talking about Triple H, and that's like the number one thing that I think heading into the SummerSlam is going to be so different, because you're going to be wondering, how is Triple H going to make this show, his own? How is he going to go ahead and incorporate who he is and, his outlook in wrestling? How is he going to incorporate that into SummerSlam? So I feel like even though a lot of these matches were, the ones that had already been decided on before Triple H even took this position, it's still going to be interesting to see how the show flows, what stuff is done. So I too am looking forward to seeing what a SummerSlam under Triple H as head of creative looks like, So I think that's going to be definitely something that is going to be very exciting to see. Now, I also want to ask you, before we get into all of this, for you, what is something that you feel that you would want to see in this show? Like, what's something that you feel SummerSlam needs in comparison to like past SummerSlams?
Well, I think that, incidentally, if you're watching and wondered why I mouthed "love you" while Denise was talking, it wasn't to Denise. She's getting married on Sunday. That would be hilarious. My good lady who was sat here has gone to bed, so I was mouthing "love you" as she went to bed. So if anybody
I was looking
wonders,
at you now, it's like, I'm like, I think I'm piecing it together here.
Just didn't want to. It's so close to your wedding, Denise. I didn't want to upset the apple cart. So,
hey, this is the last call, last chance.
This is your bachelorette party, right?
This is it right here. I'm no longer going to be a free agent.
Oh, look at that. She's getting signed to a contract, legally binding. Now, I think what we're gonna want to see, I'm just up for seeing some really strong forward progression. And that's like a really weird thing to say. But again, to come back to this thing of this is Triple H's brave new era. And I don't necessarily want to see all these stories that are told. I want to see some progression now. There's elements of this SummerSlam that feel like they've broke the emergency glass because all their plans have fallen through. Like Brock Lesnar coming back, I feel like is very much an emergency move. Taking the Seth Rollins and Riddle match off lastminute.com, which I'm sure we'll talk about. Because they want to hold it off for a bit longer. Again, it's sort of that sort of last minute putting the pieces together booking. I want to start seeing more story arcs going forward, more progressive storytelling, because I miss that from my wrestling, Denise. That's what I love. I think that's what drew a lot of people to AEW is that sometimes when they do stories, they do them very well. Not all the time, but sometimes they do them very well. And I like when those stories are told. And again, this is the start of the Triple H era, you look at that amazing Ciampa Gargano story arc that they told. I want to see stuff like this come from SummerSlam. So it's not so much what I want to see at SummerSlam, it's what I want to see going beyond SummerSlam. I want more stories that aren't just sort of snapshot, slapdash, shotgun booking. I want stuff that's going to tell a story that's going to get me to WrestleMania and beyond there as well. What about you?
It's like a nice little preview of what we can expect. And I think like how we feel after SummerSlam is going to either get people like looking forward to, with Triple H as head of creative, or it's going to get people like, oh, nothing so far is changing. So I think we're definitely going to be seeing changes. I'm excited for them, and I am totally 100% ready. Now, before we get into all of this, I do want to let you guys know, if you want to get your question, comment, or statement read on today's show, you are more than welcome to send in a super chat. Not only do you get your time here to shine on this channel, but you also help support this channel as well. So I'm going to go ahead and kick things off with a couple of super chats that we got, and let's go ahead and get right to it. We got one from Moises Zambrano. Thank you so much to Moises, who says he shares some of his predictions, saying Roman Reigns wins, the Usos win, and Logan Paul wins. Well, once we get into this matches individually, we'll go ahead and see if we agree or not. Another one from Moises, who says Liv Morgan win, Becky Al win.
Becky Lombardo.
Becky Al? Is he saying she's going to take an Al? Sorry, I wasn't thinking Lynch. I was looking at this. I'm like, how is she going to take an Al and a win?
That's life. Sometimes we always take an L and a win at the same time.
Right.
I thought he meant Becky Lombardo would do a run-in.
I love how we were about that Lynch didn't click in me. All right, Roman Reigns wins. He's also going for the Usos, the Judgment Day, and says that Dominic Mysterio will join the Judgment Day with Solo Sikoa making his debut. I love it. Moises has his predictions already all set. I haven't even made my predictions, Tom. I'm going with the flow. The second we start talking about these matches is when I kind of decide which direction I kind of want to go into. I don't like pre-plan for these prediction shows. I'm very like,
he's been too busy planning a wedding to worry about this stupid show, is what Denise is saying.
This stupid show
I'm doing it
on my channel.
Doing it on the fly.
Wait, you think of your predictions ahead of time?
Well, we did our predictions video on Thursday, so yeah. Admittedly,
okay,
I'm giving you grief, but admittedly, I thought of them Thursday morning.
Okay, you see what I mean? Like, it's not like I'm spending a week going, you know what? I don't know what's going to happen with this Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar
I think your priorities are all out of whack. You're going, I've got this wedding, but at the same time, I really should have a good think about whether Roman Reigns will win.
We got a super chat here from Crew Kid 52. Thank you so much to Crew Kid, who says, hey guys, Tom, I know you picked Gargano to return and beat Seth tomorrow, but I think Triple H needs to bring back the greatest NXT UK champion of all time, the man who beat The Rock at Mania, Jive Owens. Okay, Tom, walk me through this. Talk to me about this prediction of yours.
We have a wonderful Twitch channel and a wonderful Twitch community at twitch.tv/Cultaholic. We did a career mode in 2K, my GM mode in 2K22. I don't know whether you played much of 2K22, Denise, but there you can basically, as well as hiring all the wrestlers for like my GM mode, they've got a load of just random people as like jobbers, enhancement guys, just for the fun. So we did a challenge where we went, we're going to just try and get some of these losers like to the top of the card. And there was one guy called Jive Owens that we all just, pardon the pun, jived with. And we watched over 20 odd weeks as Jive Owens went from a nobody to beating The Rock at WrestleMania. And it was a joy, a deep joy. So I'm excited that Crew Kid has given a nod to Jive Owens. What a day that was at twitch.tv/Cultaholic. Thank you. But the Gargano one, I'll put a pin in. And when we get to that particular match, we can talk a little bit more about it.
Well, you know what? Consider me a Jive Owens fan. Add me to the fan club already.
He can come to the wedding with me. He's my +1.
Yeah, I'm sold on him. I want to meet this guy. All right, we got Giuseppe.
Meet him on Sunday when we go to the wedding.
We got a super chat from Giuseppe, who says,
I'm here to derail this whole thing, Denise.
God damn it, Tom.
Denise,
here I am trying to be, as presentable as the queen,
you
as royal,
genuinely
as poised.
The most professional presenter on YouTube. And I have so much love and admiration for you. So therefore, mere days before the biggest day of your life, I might just steamroll this.
I'm like, oh, hello, welcome to the show, everybody. Here's the proper way to do.
All right, Bob, how you doing?
This is like the pirate and the princess.
Am I the princess?
Yes. We got Giuseppe, who sends in a super chat saying, rumor has it SummerSlam was moved to Saturday not to go head-to-head with the Salcedo wedding. Bro, I was reading this and I was like, what's he talking about? What were they going to go head-to-head with? Actually, they kind of screwed me here, right? They kind of
They
screwed
certainly
me.
did.
They screwed me because I will tell you that I had my wedding day booked a year in advance. And then I find out all of a sudden SummerSlam in July. And next thing you know, I'm like, well, damn, I'm missing the whole thing, which is very disappointing. But clearly they didn't want to run head to head with my wedding.
Ric Flair's going on first on Sunday, so he can make it to the evening, dude.
He also didn't want to run against me. Tom talks rubbish. Tom talks rubbish. Sends in a super chat saying,
"Congratulations, put it together."
Congratulations on your wedding on Sunday, Denise. Thanks to both of you for being a true inspiration to me. Dude, now that I think about it, imagine doing commentary in AEW and running down all of those matches. I'd be like, Brian Danielson, Brian. Think about it. Do you think you can do it, Tom? Honestly, like running it down at that speed.
100% easy.
All right.
Standing on my head.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and put a little pin right now on these super chats, and we'll come back in just a second. But let's go ahead and get right into these predictions before it's too late. Here we go. This is a big one. Not really, but let's get to it. We got the Mysterios. The
Mysterios getting buried by Salcedo.
Oh, you don't even know the half of it. The Mysterios versus Finn Bálor and Damian Priest of the Judgment Day. No DQ match. Tom, how do you feel about the Mysterios?
Oh, well, it's this. I mean, they're good foil for the Judgment Day. I feel like they're trying to get Dominic into a position, but I feel like it's. I don't think that Dominic Mysterio is going to be the next Rey Mysterio. I think there was a big part of the company that really hoped that would be the case. But I think by this point, like by Dominic's age in Rey's career, like Rey had been a champion 100 times. I mean, it's rich coming from me because when when my dad was the age that I'm at now, he had 3 kids and a mortgage. So I can't really judge about like success in my father's eyes. But like when it comes to Rey and Dominic, I think they're gonna try and turn him heel at some point, if not here, then somewhere else. And I just don't think he's got the chops for it. And that's with the greatest of respect to the Mysterio lineage. So I think the Mysterios are getting a shoe-in, and rightly so, on Saturday. And I hope Rhea Ripley gets amongst it, because I tell you what, Rhea Ripley ripping a hole through the Mysterio family on Monday was a genuine joy. Jeez. They could have put that on Pornhub. It was ridiculous. Like,
I wasn't expecting that.
Ripley was a force of nature, throwing Aaliyah around, dragging Dominic around, booting Rey. She was amazing.
Tom, so is this what you like to watch in your viewing habits of what you just mentioned? Well, you mentioned a little bit of dragging around. I'm sensing a little dominatrix.
Well, Denise, you know what we were watching on the night where Vince McMahon retires.
I'm so confused. What? What did you tell me?
You said on Twitter, what were you doing when you found out Vince McMahon retired? And I replied that we were watching a certain program on Netflix.
Oh, yeah, How to Build a Sex Dungeon.
That's the one.
Oh, that's a good show.
It's a great show. So
yeah, but I'm telling.
Connect the dots all you want.
Oh, okay. I don't know what to say. I'm a little bit taken aback here.
I told you, I'm here to derail you.
I appreciate it. Okay, so you're not a fan of the Mysterios. I mean, the combo. I'm not saying Rey Mysterio. Yeah. I'm saying the combo of Rey and Dom.
Yeah, I'm not buying I'm not buying the Rey and Dom thing. So therefore, I am hoping that the Judgment Day win, and I feel like the Judgment Day should win because, like, the Judgment Day, I like the concept of the Judgment Day. Tiny bit lost without Edge there. Rhea coming back on Monday, I think, re-galvanized it. And I think they need a big win. I think the no DQ thing opens the door for some possible shenanigans to allow them a big, shocking win.
You think Aaliyah's going to come out and make an interference?
That would be a thing, wouldn't it? That would be a thing. Hey, if there's a Mysterio turn-in, could be Aaliyah.
What if Aaliyah joins the Judgment Day?
I feel like Aaliyah might become like the next Rey Mysterio.
I mean, at this point, let's be real.
Let's do that. Or we can't.
It's not too far off.
There's stranger things have happened at this point. So I with this one, I am picking the Judgment Day to win. I feel like they have to. Because now there are other sort of fantasy booking type things that I'm sure that you'll want to touch on as well in your prediction.
Well, I think for me, it's more so if I just don't see the upside in having the Mysterios win this, because nobody cares about Dom and Ray together as a duo. Unfortunately, it's one of those things where you're just like, dude, you need to do something different with Dominic. And I think that's why I feel like a lot of more people are leaning towards actually seeing him align himself with the Judgment Day. But if he does align himself with the Judgment Day, I really want to see like a 180 in terms of personality from Dom, because there was remember on Raw when they were kind of like beating up on Ray, and then Dominic Mysterio comes in and he's like, no, wait, hold on. I'm putting too much personality. He's like, no, please stop. I will join the Judgment Day. I'm like, bro, they're beating up your dad. This is like a 2-on-1 attack, and you're coming in here to put the stop with the least intensity ever.
You're stopping your dad getting beaten up with all the energy of changing your car insurance provider. And that's please don't hurt my dad. Please, I will join your gang.
It's like the Willy Wonka, like the Willy Wonka.
Oh, no, stop, please come back. Maybe he's a heel then. Oh, no, stop, please. Don't hurt my dad anymore. That would be terrible.
You see what I mean? If he's going to do this, if he does align himself with the Judgment Day, which I think they should do just to liven things up for both Dom, and just this whole storyline is going to feel like a waste if they don't. Yeah. I want, to see a little bit more of that personality, just a little bit more from Dominic. So hopefully this, maybe he finds something within himself and he just really just like comes out and sparkles.
Where do you sit or stand on the idea of the whole no DQ thing, the whole fact that he wasn't there on Monday, this potentially being where we see an Edge return?
I don't think I have any opinion on that, mainly because we have to have, okay, so if we do have Edge return, because he has to get some sort of revenge, right? He just has to. He has to get some revenge. I mean, come on, they kicked him out, they beat him up. You don't think he's going to come back and be like, yo, I remember what you did. See, but that terrifies me, though. What if we do have this thing where, like, all of a sudden he comes in, costs them the match, and then the Mysterios win, and then Dominic doesn't even join the Judgment Day, and it's just like a flat Ray and Dom win.
What if? Oh, no. I don't think, actually, under Triple H's watch, I don't think this will happen.
No, I don't think so. I don't think that'll happen.
Edge comes out. So Dominic gets beaten up before the match. No, where's Dominic? We don't know. Edge comes out to replace him. And just before the match starts, Dominic comes out seemingly hurt and then attacks Ray. And then Edge lets it happen. The whole thing was a setup to get Dominic in Judgment Day. Edge is back as the leader. Oh, no,
I wouldn't want that. No, I wouldn't want that.
It
doesn't seem like Edge was happy with the direction that they were going with the Judgment Day. So I do not see him coming back and like being the leader again.
Forget I said that.
I think he's doing his own thing. Like maybe he'll come out like after, like for example, okay. So let's say, Dominic turns on Rey Mysterio, right? And he joins himself in with the Judgment Day, and then they win and they do their thing and they're like, yeah, they're having their moment. And then let's do it AEW style. The lights go down and then the lights come back up and then Edge is there.
Oh, no, you'd have to have You Think You Know Me across the arena.
Oh, that's true.
You have to get that, blah, 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 and then have him. Yeah, that's a nice way of doing it. Yeah, I think you can do it afterwards. All right, we got a super chat here from Moises Zambrano. Thank you so much to Moises, who says he's got some more predictions saying Solo Sikoa will join the Bloodline, Sami Zayn will help the Usos, The Rock versus Roman Reigns, WrestleMania 39. I really hope that's a possibility, but we'll talk about that some other time. Roman Reigns will beat The Rock. We are the ones. That's going to be something. We'll talk about that once, we're closer to WrestleMania in Hollywood, which I cannot wait. We got a super chat here from Ken Flanagan, who says, Tom wins the titles. Denise wins the titles. The world is safe. What titles are we winning? Intercontinental.
I don't want to be intercontinental.
Delinquent weight, heavy little weight championship.
Little weight championship.
Little weights.
I want to win the mini donut lover championship.
The mini donut lover championship.
Yeah.
There's a donut place opening just down the road from us. We spotted it today. It's near our favorite pub, and next door is going to be a donut place. And my good lady and I went, we're never going to hit our weight goals ever, because this is just a disaster now. We're both furious and delighted. Just an aside.
My food ordering app told me that I was in the top 5% of the customers for this donut shop.
Oh, that's
And I was
depressing.
like, y'all just calling me out right now. You're all calling me out for being one of the top. Like they were doing it in a way where you're like, oh, you're the top supporter of this like local donut shop. Like, look at you helping out local businesses. And I'm like, that's not what I'm reading here. It's really that I'm eating too much donuts.
I had the Domino's Pizza app after about a week once say, hey, you okay? We miss you. Well, you monsters. How dare you?
We got a
Wow.
massive, and I mean
you.
massive super chat from Bridget Hewlett. Bridget, she is wonderful. We've messaged privately. She is very generous, and this is beyond generous. Bridget says, congratulations on your upcoming wedding. You and Tom are making my day. Thank you all for both what you do. I read that wrong. Thank you all for all you both do. Bridget, seriously, thank you so much. I'm going to send you a private message after this stream, but seriously, thank you so much for this very generous super chat. Like I never know how much I feel like I need to give more love, but seriously, thank you.
That's really kind. Thank you.
Yes. All right, let's get some thoughts in here and see what people are saying. This one is from F and Raw Flash, who says Ed should come out with a slower version of his own theme to confront the Judgment Day. Then lights shut off and Bray appears behind them and they hit both their finishers and stand side by side in the ring. Jesus, can you imagine that?
My head would explode. Surely not. Edge and Fiend as a team. What? That's ridiculous.
I would love that, by the way, just throwing that out there. Like, I don't think right now I'm in a place where I'm the biggest Edge fan, and I don't ever think I was like the biggest Bray Wyatt fan, but I think if they were to like come together, I'd be cool with that.
And then they can lose to us for the titles.
Clearly.
There you go. There you go.
All right, let's go ahead and hop into the next match here. The next match that we are going to talk about is Logan Paul versus The Miz. Now, Tom, my question for you is, how do you feel about Logan Paul? Are you a fan? Are you a hater? What are you?
Right, Logan Paul is a person I can't get on board with. I think I don't, there's something about his personality that jars with me, completely jars with me. Away from the other sort of dodgy stuff that he's done, which obviously sits there all the time. As a wrestler, wow, he has taken to it like a duck to a pond. He has been exceptional. And I think anybody that questions Logan Paul as a wrestler, I think is doing it because they don't like Logan Paul the person. You can separate the two here. I don't like Logan Paul the person. I will be gobsmacked if he's cheered at SummerSlam. But as a wrestler, he has taken to it so well. Right?
I think so too. I really, I can't even say like that I dislike Logan Paul because I don't feel I know enough about who he is. I don't watch his YouTube videos. I don't really see much of him. Everything that I know about Logan Paul is just based off of headlines. And, obviously that big controversial one that he had a while back that caused, a lot of uproar and that. And so really like my basis off of Logan Paul was really just that. So like, I feel like I don't really know much about him, but from what I have seen from him in WWE, I legitimately think that like he's been perfectly fine. And when he signed with WWE, I actually thought it was a good thing because, I know a lot of people don't like Logan Paul, but let's be real. The man does have fans, he has fans, he has supporters, he has a following. And what do we want? Obviously WWE wants to be more mainstream. They want to have more of, headlines and all of that good stuff. Right. And I do think that Logan Paul does contribute a lot to that end of things. And also like, here's the thing, like a lot of people don't like Logan Paul. And I know that he probably wants to do babyface stuff. I think I've read a couple of quotes from him in interviews where he wants to do babyface stuff, but I think that he should actually hone in some of that, I hate to say it, but unlikability that he has. The guy is unlikable to a lot of people. And that sounds really mean, but why not like take that and like own it, and make it work for you? He could be a big time heel. And the fans could, and then in the end, fans will end up kind of like, I think kind of respecting him. If you become a really good heel that fans like want to like boo and not have like go away heat, but actually be like a good heel, I really do think that could be a huge benefit for Logan Paul. And he's a good athlete. I think he has all of the makings that he can actually be, a pretty decent star in the company.
I think as a heel, he'd be incredible. I'm always amazed by the amount of wrestlers that I've seen, read stories about, and met who are good guys and take great exception to the idea of being booed. And it just makes me laugh because, like, come on, wrestling's all a bit silly. We love it, and it's our bread and butter, Denise. So there's no disrespect there, but it is a bit silly. And I think that if you're getting that heat, if people don't like you, lean in. Like, this is a tale as long as time. Like Hulk Hogan. We do the classic Nitro review on Cultaholic on the podcast feed. So we're going week to week through every episode of Nitro. And we're at the point now where Hogan is desperately rebuffing these ideas of being a bad guy. Like, he hates the thought of being booed because he's like, nobody will ever buy my merch. Nobody will ever love me again. I'll just be lost. And I'm like, no, you'll be the biggest star on the planet again. And like the idea of Logan Paul saying, I want a babyface run. I want to be a good guy. Like, mate, everybody wants to boo you. Let them boo you and just make bank. Seriously, just do it. And also being a bad guy. I mean, Hollywood Salcedo, you'd never know this. You're too nice. But you know, you'll break plenty of hearts when you get married this weekend. But that'll be a heel turn for many. But there is something deeply joy. I've only had one instance in the wrestling world where I played a heel manager, and it is the most fun. It is the most fun. And I hope Logan Paul eventually realizes that, and we get to see a heel run for Logan Paul. He'd be brilliant. I'm ready to boo him. So we need
for someone to smarten him up and for him to see that this is not like him being heel and being hated as a heel is not the end of the world. Like, it is the start of something new that can make him go from like Logan Paul, the celebrity, that's, you know, going in, like having a couple matches here and there with WWE, to like, oh shit, Logan Paul, you know, something a little bit more. I mean, the man like gets so much heat on like social media. Man, lean into that, honestly. So I completely agree with you, and I'm glad that we're on the same page here. With that being said, I do want to see, what do you think? Logan Paul has to win here, right?
I think Logan has to win, and it's one of these matches, and there's a couple of matches like this tonight that we'll talk about. I don't think Miz loses anything by losing to Logan Paul. I think Miz will be fine. I don't think Miz needs the win. I think Miz's role at the moment in WWE, in the grander scheme of things, is to kind of help get those guys along. I don't think he'll be like a top guy again, and that's with no disrespect. And I think Miz knows that as well. But he's got enough star power and legitimacy to help get people from here to here, and I think he's going to do that for Logan Paul. And with a big, and I don't think it'll be the way that WWE hopes. Nashville truly getting behind.
Oh, we lost you, Tom, for a second. While you come back, I'll go ahead and read the super chat from Crew Kid 52. And Tom is beautifully oh, he's back. Okay, you're back. Tom, hello.
Hello? I don't know. Didn't realize I froze there. My apologies.
You were frozen like this.
Oh, that's how I froze.
Like a billboard.
Sometimes when I freeze, it
was a perfect. Like, usually people freeze and they're all ugly. No, yours was flawless. Are you frozen now? No, you're acting.
No,
you're
I'm
acting.
fine.
I just saw the eye movement. I was like, oh no, did he really freeze?
I'm definitely not.
You sold it. Stop it. You keep tricking me. You're making me go against my better judgment. All right, that's it. I'm canceling you, Tom. I'm canceling you.
What? Sorry, I didn't see the super chat. About? I apologize. I didn't see the super chat just then. I apologize.
No worries. Let me go ahead and pull that up right now. We have the one from Crew Kid 52. Thank you so much to Crew Kid, who says, another question for Tom from one Campbell to another. Are you going to get your revenge on Pacitti? Am I saying that? How do you say his last name? Pacitti. For very, very slow ambushing you with a chair.
Ambush. It's a hedge full of meat. No, ambushing. Yeah. So if you watch our predictions video, you'll see what happened there. Myself and Andrew were subject to the slowest steel chair shot in the history of wrestling. It's horrifying, and there will be revenge. I promise you. It's on our predictions video.
Alrighty, well, thank you so much to Crew Kid 52. We got another super chat here from Giuseppe, who says, SRS will get Denise a blender as a wedding gift. I've gotten Sean a toaster. And I think the other thing I got him was a waffle maker. So I think I see a blender in my future. Well,
I've bought you a blender for the weekend.
Damn, so now I'm going to have two blenders?
Is there a table I have to leave it on?
Yes.
Because I want to enjoy the main wedding that I'm definitely invited to, the vows and everything that I'm sat at the front for. I want to enjoy that. So if I can leave the present somewhere,
Yes.
just so I don't spill any of it on my neon blue suit when I'm sat at the front, so I don't cry on it. That'd be great.
I love this vision of yours. Love it. Giuseppe, thank you so much for the super chat.
You'll see it the weekend. You'll see it. Because I'm coming to the wedding.
Okay. So, also, guys, just a heads up, if you do want to get your question, comment, or statement, you are more than welcome to send in a super chat. Please send them in. They help out the show. Also, on top of that, while you guys are here, if you haven't already subscribed to this channel, please subscribe. I run this channel. It's, completely my little vision here, and I'm trying to grow it. It's not easy, but it helps if you guys subscribe and check out some of the content, just like this video here with Tom and myself. But now let's go ahead and hop into our next match that we got here, because I'm very much looking forward to it. And the match that we are talking about is the Raw Women's Championship match between Bianca Belair and Becky Lynch. So, Tom Campbell,
Hi.
Mr. Campbell, my question to you is, who do you want to win this match and why?
Right. Okay. It's not only who and why, but how. Bianca Belair. Why? Because I think she is having a phenomenal run as the Raw Women's Champion. I think she's exactly where she needs to be, on top of the tree. I love her work week to week. I think she is somebody that not only in the ring but outside the ring just completely bestows the values of a top WWE talent. She doesn't seem like a fish out of water like some wrestlers have in that role. She seems like she absolutely deserves to be there. And I think that's why she has to win. And I think she has to beat Becky Lynch in 20 seconds. I think they have to.
What?
Because we sat here last year, you and I, Denise, and we talked about, the match that didn't happen that ended up becoming Bianca Belair versus Becky Lynch, and a 22-second win for Becky Lynch, and all the upset that caused a year on from that. What a lovely way to roll that back. 20 seconds, Bianca, get it done. That's kind of what I think. But the thing is, at the same time, I know that these two could give them 25 minutes rather than 25 seconds, and they'll give you the world in ring. Regardless whether it's 25 minutes or 20 seconds, Bianca Belair has to leave as the champion here, just to continue the downfall of Becky Lynch and continue the rise of Belair.
So for her to finally get revenge and get that dominant win over Becky Lynch, like that's what you want to see. And see, I don't blame you, because I'm a little bit torn on this. I like the idea of doing that, because it would be like so impactful and everybody would be like, holy shit. Like it would be a holy shit moment. Okay. And the reason why I don't totally hate the idea, it's for multiple reasons. One, because again, you just recapped the events of last year's SummerSlam, and that really sucked for Bianca Belair. And a lot of people were really, really upset. I remember that interview that I did with her following the show. The comments, it got so many comments, and the comments were literally people just pissed off that this even happened, and that the way that it happened to Bianca Belair. Okay, so that's one thing, revenge, for the events of last year. But on top of that, they already did have, because I'm guilty. I want to see that competitive match between Becky Lynch and Bianca, because they've had the one at WrestleMania was phenomenal. They did such an amazing job, and so part of me is like, I do kind of want to see something like that again. But because we already saw that, I wouldn't be opposed to doing a quick victory where Bianca Belair just looks like supremely dominant. So I'm not against your idea. I would like it. Either or is fine with me. Either getting some like very dominant win for Bianca Belair, or getting another competitive match like what we saw in take place at WrestleMania.
Good shout. I think that maybe this spirals off into Becky Lynch doing something more, because I think the one thing that the women's championships on Raw and SmackDown need are battles that aren't for the title. Like, I want more interdivisional battles. But like, I want people to be on pay-per-view, premium live event, fighting in matches that are based on grudges in the same way that Rollins and Riddle was supposed to be. But Becky Lynch and Asuka, that could have been a pay-per-view match. It didn't have to be for the belt, but it could have been a pay-per-view match. And I'm frustrated that we didn't get that, So again, to come back to what I said at the start, the idea of what I want to see from SummerSlam is more stuff going forward. Maybe Becky Lynch loses this match, and it leads into a deeper feud either with Asuka, or maybe goes over to the other side and picks it up with an old friend, which I'll touch on in a bit.
Bayley. Let's talk about Bayley. You think you'll see Bayley?
Oh, now I think there's a chance that we might see Bayley. I don't know if it'll be on Raw though. I feel like, but mind you, the Bel-Air stuff is still like that's where she left, wasn't it? It was with Bianca Belair. No, I think Bayley's staying on SmackDown.
I feel like I legitimately don't know, but I mean, this could be like the big return moment for her at SummerSlam. And I see a lot of people bringing it up here in the chat. And honestly, like, I'm not opposed to them having, Bayley come out, and, I don't know, just do something, but I wouldn't want it to be something where like she comes in and then she costs Bianca Belair the match or something like that. I wouldn't want that necessarily, but I wouldn't mind seeing Bayley, come in and, do something on the show. I think that would be like just exciting for people to be like, hell yeah, Bayley's back. This is it.
Maybe in the other match later on.
We'll talk about that in just a second. Let's go ahead and hop into our next match. Here we go. We got Pat McAfee versus Happy Corbin. So are you a Pat McAfee fan, Tom?
Oh, I have been a Pat McAfee fan since day dot. Since he was doing stuff on NXT in those suits with shorts, like that energy I love every bit of it. And I know that he's divisive, but I quite like that he's divisive in the sense that he's this guy who's very much comfortable in his own skin. He's not afraid to be passionate. And that is probably why some people don't like him. Yeah, that's what because the world needs that. I think that you can either sort of be a wallflower and be too nervous to show what you like, or you can be completely yourself, aware that it's going to upset a few people, but you're going to live unapologetically you. And Pat McAfee is that for me. Like, Pat is overexcited, he's enthusiastic, he's energetic, but my gosh, he's entertaining. And that's why he's been put in these situations. He had a banger of a showdown at WrestleMania, and he's doing something similar at SummerSlam, another showcase for Pat. It's almost like coming out of WrestleMania, if you were to base it on like crowd reaction and sort of hype around it alone, you think, well, surely they're going to push Pat McAfee this year as a top guy. But he's the commentator. And here we are again at SummerSlam, feature match with Happy Corbin. And again, it's just, I feel like he's going to get one of the biggest reactions of the night. I really do. But I love that he's turned so many people around, though, because when he was on NXT, we did like the countdown shows on NXT. I remember people being really like, "Oh, who's this guy? He's weird. I don't like him." But like, there's so much love for him now. It's wonderful.
No, and I completely agree with you. Like, I think the way that you described him as being this like unapologetic person, like just who he is and having fun and not being a wallflower. I love the description of what you said, because it's true. He's added so much life to commentary, but also, I remember like when this whole thing, like when he first started like doing stuff like in ring, with NXT, I thought, oh, like I don't really know this guy. I don't really care, and it was this instant thing where, once he was cutting promos and he went out in the ring and he wasn't, terrible. I'm like, okay, clearly I was wrong, because, he's pretty impressive. And then, like you mentioned, the events that went down at WrestleMania. Oh my God, that was so much fun. Like that GIF where he's, laying down on the floor and he's got all the beer coming out and he's still drinking the beer. Everybody remembers that. Like that was kind of like an iconic moment for WrestleMania. And personally, like, I just feel like he's kind of gotten over with the fans, because I think he's kind of connected with the people in a certain way, because the number one thing about pro wrestling, I think, is that it's fun. And I think that sometimes people forget wrestling is fun. This is supposed to be a fun thing. And when you have somebody coming out and just like Pat McAfee, who's having fun doing this job, whether he's dancing on top of the commentary table, he has loosened up Michael Cole so much. I mean, he's even bonded with Vince McMahon and all of this other stuff. I feel like he's definitely gotten himself over, and he makes things a more interesting. Like, I remember that match with Austin Theory. I didn't care for it, but I cared because Pat McAfee was a part of it. I care about this match because Pat McAfee is a part of it.
And we want to see Pat McAfee back to Happy Corbin, don't we?
Yeah. So definitely Pat McAfee here. I'm going for Pat McAfee. I think that's definitely a shoe-in for that. Moises Zambrano sends in a super chat saying Jake Paul and Logan Paul versus The Miz and Tommaso Ciampa. Good suggestion there. We got Crew Kid 52 who sends in a super chat saying I was at WrestleMania this year and this match with Theory was insane. The callback to the box jump superplex spot against Adam Cole was my favorite. Thank you so much for also bringing that up as well to Crew Kid 52. All right, guys, let's go ahead and hop into our next match here. And I think, Tom, you're freezing up just a little bit, but for the most part, we got your audio.
I am a little bit, aren't I? I do apologize from that. Let me...
no worries. I'm just letting you be. I'm letting you be who you are with or without your internet. All right. Well, in the meantime, I'll go ahead and start talking about the next match here. The next match that we are going to talk about is the Undisputed WWE Tag Team Championship match. The Usos taking on the Street Profits with special guest referee Jeff Jarrett. So, Tom, I'll go ahead and start off by asking you. Oh, Tom. We got Tom's fixing his situation right now.
I ran across the room to move the broadband router to see if it would help.
I didn't even see
it
you
while
do
the match graphic was on.
You were like the Flash. You were like, I'm going. I had no idea you were gone.
I'm quite pacey for a stocky lad. I'm very proud of that.
A stocky lad. I love that. No, I came back and I was like, oh, I was starting to ask you a question, and then I was like, oh, he's not here. Panic mode. Okay,
I told you, I'm putting you through your paces for your last one before you go for your nuptials. I'm putting you through your paces.
Tom, you're just this blurry figure right now. You're just a blurry figure, but we'll make it work.
Oh,
all right. No. So anyways, I was talking about the tag team championship match with Jeff Jarrett as the referee. What are your thoughts on having Jeff Jarrett incorporated into this as a special guest referee?
What a weird decision to put Jeff Jarrett in there. Isn't it just like
it's
Jeff?
A little,
like,
yeah. It was unexpected. I don't think people saw
why
it.
He's there. I didn't either. I don't quite get why he's doing it. I know it's like the day before like Ric Flair's last match and he's heavily involved in that. But I don't know whether I can't fathom why. I guess because it's in Nashville. And I don't know whether there's this idea that Jeff Jarrett is going to be a babyface in Nashville and help the Street Profits win. But Jeff Jarrett's like historically an amazing heel. So I'm baffled as to why Jeff Jarrett's doing this. What do you see like Jeff Jarrett's involvement being in this match?
So I got to tell you, like, I feel like he's I don't know. Like, part of me kind of thinks that he's going to just kind of be like I don't even like, part of me wonders if he's even like going to really be doing like anything, like besides obviously his referee duties, but like having like a major like role. But you would think so, right? Like, or else why would they go ahead and incorporate this? Like, I just feel like it was like, it is odd besides, it being in Nashville, it is a little odd, but because I just don't know, like, is Jeff Jarrett going to be biased? He's going to be unbiased during this? Like, what is his, like, what are going to be his intentions? What's the end game plan here with Jeff Jarrett incorporated into this? Is there no game plan? Is he just going to be like, I'm here, and that's it?
Do you think that they will do anything to promote Ric Flair's last match that's the night after?
I don't think so. No, I don't think so. And I don't know if I would suggest that they do. Because
I thought they might do it because
Triple H
again. Triple H now being in charge.
Match? Because I feel hilarious. Like it's okay. I'm just like praying nothing happens and that Ric Flair comes out okay. You don't want to see nothing serious happen. It's just like reading the whole thing about his pacemaker and the foot issue that he has and just, the age thing. And then, Charlotte said no dives, and obviously good. I'm glad she said no dives. It's just a lot, he's an older gentleman. I worry in that end of things. Like, I don't want it to be none of this, like, freaking like Mickey Rourke. Oh God, what was the name of the freaking, the wrestler, right? The wrestler. Yeah, the wrestler. I saw that like decades ago, and I think everybody was like instantly like bringing this up and seeing, some of this like correlations.
I think so, and I'm nervous about that for him. I think that the fact that it's a tag team match puts my mind at ease a bit because, if he does feel the old ticker, is giving him a bit of jip, he can just tag out and
But
let
then
his
it's
son-in-law
split
carry
too,
on.
though. He has the freaking like. Come on,
What-
you know it's a lot.
He's going into this in quite the situation. I think it's going to be a really fun card. We're going to do live reactions for it at Cultaholic, so do come and join us for that. There's this huge scope for you, because I think it's going to be a really fun card, like full of matches from other shows, and then of course this curiosity at the end of the night with this guy who has said if my pacemaker stops, they'll turn it off and on again, and I won't take any of my tablets before I start. Like
the blood thinners. Yeah, he's not taking his blood thinners, I think.
Yeah, these tablets I've got, they're going to make me better. I'm not going to take them before the match. Please, just take a night off and take your tablets, Rick. Please.
You see what I mean? It's a little bit of everything.
Right.
Like the heart, the foot, the tablets. There's just too much,
Which should be the title of the pay-per-view. The heart, the foot, the tablets. They should call the pay-per-view the heart, the foot, the tablets.
It's like literally, it's like trying to balance a little egg on a spoon and don't fall. Like you're fragile, your little egg can't fall and crack a shell, like it's terrifying.
Egg flare.
I'm a big fan of Humpty Dumpty, by the way. We got a super chat here from Zanova who says, Tom, be prepared for the money dance at the wedding. Do you know what a money dance is, Tom?
Is that where you throw money to make them dance? Because that harkens back to weddings I've been to in the past.
Okay, two totally different things. It's where you dance with the bride and groom and you pin like money on the clothes. It's like, I don't know if it's the money dance, a dollar dance, whatever the hell you want to call it.
Well, I've got 20s with me, so I'll bring them for when I dance with you and the groom. I'll bring 20s to clip to everybody's trousers. That's fine. I'm going to the evening do as well as the main wedding. Sitting at the front for the main wedding. What I thought I'll do, I've been thinking whilst we've been going on, Denise. I think what I might do is because the item I've bought for you is quite heavy, and
is it a
there's
horse?
Not a table before. It's not a horse.
It's a barbed wire table, and you're going to bring a lighter and gasoline fluid.
Oh, I feel bad now. It's a blender. But what I was going to do is I was just going to sit with it on my lap at the front when you do your vows on the front row, just to keep it nearby. So the moment that you finish the vows, when you turn around now as man and wife, as you walk down the aisle, I can just go, here's your present from me. So that'd be the first thing that we'll do once you've done the vows, because I'll be sat at the front. And then I'll rush off and go and get the DJ kit out of the car. And then we'll do the disco in the evening.
We're going to just do the disco. I have a disco ball, actually.
Yeah, we'll do a disco.
Yeah. I love it. Okay.
I bought one anyway. It's fine.
We'll have two discos. Bobby Lashley versus Austin Theory for the United States Championship. So, two things here. Do we expect a cash in at any point during this pay-per-view from Theory? Do we expect him to win or lose? What are your thoughts on Theory? Is he the guy?
Right, okay,
Tom, does he tickle your pickle? I
think he does. I think we've got a delay. Either that or you're really keen to tickle the pickle line, get the tickle pickle line in there.
I'm saying, does Theory tickle your pickle? Do you fancy him? I'm speaking your language now. Do you fancy him?
Do you fancy him, Governor?
Did I say that properly, right? Is that how you would say it? Like, do you like someone? Do you fancy someone? I fancy
them. Yeah. Oh, I fancy you.
Okay.
Oh, fancy you. I like you. Yeah, that's pretty much bang on. But, I mean, he is a handsome man. Now, whilst my bread is not buttered that side, a chap like him could turn a guy's head. But in terms of...
Would you like me to assign somebody to butter? Never mind. It was a joke from Mean Girls. But it was going to go the wrong way. Would you like me to assign somebody to butter your muffin? Why did I say that? It's a Mean Girls quote. Also, I don't think you have a muffin. Tom, get me out of this. I'm digging a hole.
No, I'm going to let you carry on.
I'm done. I don't even know what we're talking about anymore. Theory.
I just want to know,
are you a fan of Austin Theory? That's all I want to know. Are you a fan?
Muffins. What are we talking about?
Oh,
a fan of muffins, if that's what you mean.
Okay, you're a fan of
Okay.
muffins. Okay. Only if they're buttered, of
Okay,
course.
to talk the wrestling. So Theory, I think, was a guy that Vince McMahon very much had high hopes for, both as a storyline and not as a storyline. Now Vince is not there. It's a bit up in the air for Theory. I like the idea that Cowboy Andrew from Cultaholic has come up with, in the sense that we won't see him get the world at SummerSlam. In fact, we'll see everything taken away. He will lose the chance to win back the US title. He will not cash in Money in the Bank successfully. And we will see him from the ground up work his way back to where he is now. And with that will come the respect and the credence of his peers and the fans. And I think that's something that I think Andrew's made a really good point at our place. I think that there's something in watching Theory drop and lose everything, hit rock bottom and climb back up through the ranks again. Now he's not there. Is Theory buttering your muffin, Denise?
I don't even know how to answer that. Okay, don't do the eyebrow, Tom. You did not just do that eyebrow. Please, I need to give you the full screen. Do the eyebrow again. Second your internet comes back. Hold on. Let's see. Nope, you're frozen. I want to see the eyebrow again.
That one.
Oh, no, it's not the Rock's eyebrow. You did like a flirtatious eyebrow. Like it was like a very like naughty eyebrow.
That one.
Yeah, the naughty eyebrow. Okay, so Theory is a nice lad, right? He's a nice fella. But
Do you fancy him?
I don't fancy him in the way that I don't think I fancy him in either way. But okay. Oh my God, I'm digging a hole. I can't get out of this damn hole. I'm like 6 feet under right now.
I bought you a shovel for your wedding. You can use the shovel that I've got you for your wedding. I've wrapped it and everything. I'll have it with me when you do your vows.
I want to be an Austin Theory fan, and I think there's a potential, and I think down the road I could be an Austin Theory fan. It's just that I haven't really been given a reason yet right now to be an Austin Theory fan. I do see shades of why people are saying like, Theory is going to be the next guy, but maybe not so much because Theory's fine. But I still think that if you were going to say like, Denise, like pick somebody else to be the next guy, I don't think I'd pick Theory. I'd probably be, looking a little bit in another direction. So do I fancy him? I think I could, just not right now. I got to get a little bit more, because I feel like I have the bar set really high.
Bar is very high. And I think that, again, had Vince McMahon been in charge of the company, we put out a badly timed video the other day of who will be the next big thing in WWE. But it was a video that I'd written and recorded before Vince McMahon retired. So all the parameters that I'd used to determine like who would be the guy, well, they all change overnight because Vince has very certain parameters. And Theory kind of went from hot to probably lukewarm on the thermometer for me now. So I don't think he's beating Bobby. I like Bobby as US champion. Do you know what? In all of this, Denise, people haven't talked about how brilliant Bobby Lashley is enough. I'm worried he's got lost in the shuffle a bit here. As a US champion, I think he's money,
I love Bobby Lashley. I think that, I thought his reign was pretty good. I thought, everything that he was doing afterwards was solid. It kind of things died down a little bit for Bobby Lashley, but now I kind of feel like definitely do not want to see him lose a championship. I think that there's a lot that can be done with Bobby Lashley as champion. I feel like I don't want to just like ditch that and not, just not circle back to it, So I definitely do not want to see Bobby Lashley lose here. And I do think that we are going to see a cash-in from Theory, whether it happens at SummerSlam or it happens another time. But I do think regardless of whenever it happens, I do think it's going to be a failed cash-in. Mm-hmm. Like something about it just doesn't scream that it's going to be a successful cash-in. And I do kind of want to see the failed cash-in. I'm not going to lie. I think I'd be interested in that.
There's something magical about a failed cash-in over a successful one. I mean, the one that springs to mind, sadly, is Damian Sandow. I was gutted that he didn't actually become the guy off the back of his cash-in. But I think with Theory losing that opportunity, I think there's an opportunity to make him even more and do it over time. Tell stories over time. And that first story can be Theory.
There you go. There you go. All right, guys. Well, before we go ahead and move on to our next match, because we do got 2 more matches to go ahead and talk about. If you are new to this channel, please, if you haven't yet, make sure to subscribe. This is my channel. I post a lot of interviews. I go to a lot of the shows and get scrums and just do like podcasts every now and then. If you guys like what you're seeing so far and want to continue to, watch some more content, please do not forget to subscribe to this channel. I already surpassed over 60,000 subscribers, and I definitely want to get that magical number of 100K at some point in the near future. So please make sure to subscribe. Crew Kid 52 sends in a super chat saying, I kind of like Theory, to be honest. He's great at wrestling and is one of the best sellers in the entire company. Anything you want to add to that, Tom?
I loved his stunner. He took a wonderful stunner from Steve Austin at WrestleMania. I think he's an asset. I think he's a young guy, and like even us moving the goalposts for him now, like he's still in his 20s. Like he's got loads of time to get there. There's no rush to get him up there. So I think he will be the guy. I just think that he will get to use that elite selling and that great wrestling a bit further down the line.
Awesome. All right. Thank you so much to Crew Kid 52. Let's go ahead and move on to the next match that we're going to talk about. And the next one is the SmackDown Women's Championship match between Liv Morgan and Ronda Rousey. How do you feel about what we've been seeing so far with Liv Morgan? What was your reaction? What was your reaction to Liv Morgan winning the championship? And are you looking forward to this?
Over the moon to see Liv Morgan winning the whole thing. Like Liv I'm delighted for her. It was a wonderful cash-in moment to see her come out, surprised that she did it, but glad that she did. One of those that have just organically become utterly lovable. That sounds really condescending, but like completely undeniable in her role as well. Like she's so deserving of where she is that you couldn't be happier for her. But now is a great opportunity to not only go, okay, the fans want her here, let's prove that she belongs here. And I think a win over Ronda would do that. Now, Denise, I will ask you first. Do you think that Liv Morgan has it in her to beat Ronda Rousey?
It's hard to say. It's hard to say because I feel like I love Liv and I think she's a great champion, but I don't see her in the same light that I see somebody like a Bianca Belair. I see her in a different light, but that's not to like throw shade or anything like that. She's just a different type of competitor. She's just a different type of champion. So I do think that she's going to really have to if she is going to be defeating Ronda Rousey here, I really want this to be like a very solid performance for the sake of Liv Morgan, because I do think like now she's the champion. Everybody wanted her to be champion the moment it happened. Now she has to prove why she should remain champion. So I feel like now the real work begins for Liv Morgan, and I'm rooting for her, man. I'm rooting for her. I want to come to the day where if you ask me that question next year, let's say we're having another rematch between Liv Morgan and Ronda Rousey next year or something, or 6 months from now. You know what? Actually, that's too far off. A year is too far off. Let me say 6 months from now or something. And you said, can Liv Morgan defeat Ronda Rousey? I want to have a different answer for that.
I think this is the thing is, regardless of whether it feels right that she can beat Ronda Rousey, I think at this particular junction, she has to, because I think there's a lot of eyes on this match because it's Liv Morgan's first title defense and there is already that incredible groundswell of support. And this is one that people are going to be watching to see how this new era of WWE treats Liv Morgan. It's always been stop-start with Liv Morgan under the old regime. How many times, Denise, did we see Liv Morgan in these sort of well-meaning, well-started stories, and then they just trail off? The stuff with Rusev and Lana, the stuff with the Riot Squad, multiple tag team partners that just went by the wayside, and we saw Liv Morgan throw herself into every single role and just to be sort of forgotten about in amongst it. Now she's not. And there's, I think, a concerted effort to make sure that she is seen to be somebody the company's getting behind. So whether or not it feels right to have her beat Ronda here, it doesn't have to be clean as a whistle, but I think she has to leave with the belt here. I think
for sure.
there could also be the opportunity to have Ronda move away from Liv into something else. For example, maybe a despondent Becky Lynch after losing in 20 seconds to Ronda Rousey to Bianca Belair decides to get into a fight with Ronda just for a laugh. And then we have that taking place as a non-title rivalry, maybe on SmackDown. Maybe Ronda Rousey, upset with the loss, here's ding dong hello, and this is where we see Bayley come back. Maybe after Liv Morgan beats Ronda Rousey, Ronda leaves, and then Bayley comes out and attacks Liv Morgan, reestablishes herself as the top star on SmackDown, gives Liv Morgan a new rivalry. This is maybe where we see Bayley come back.
This would be like, that's what we were talking about earlier, where you were like, okay, we maybe don't see her over on the Raw roster, but returning back to SmackDown. And I'm forgetting if she was even included in the draft. I don't think she was she? Like there wasn't an official, and even if she was, I don't even think that it's been so long that I don't even think it matters anymore. I don't think she was drafted. No, she wasn't drafted. Yeah.
I don't think she was drafted. And I think it's just the draft itself, I think, is a bit of a moot point now. I think that people have assigned rosters, but I don't think they're that sort of hard and fast on who stays where.
Right, exactly. So I do think like if you want to keep her on that SmackDown side of things, obviously this is where you go ahead and incorporate her. And you mentioned that big question, can Liv Morgan defeat Ronda Rousey? It's hard to buy it as it happening in a clean fashion. So I don't know, maybe we have Bayley, like you said, come in here during this, but I do want to make it so that I want to see Liv Morgan in a competitive match against Ronda Rousey and get a definitive win over Ronda Rousey, because I think she really needs it, especially if they want her championship to, her reign as champion to really go above and beyond. Like, this is it. Like, this is the moment. And the way to do it is to just showcase her in a different light than what we're used to seeing. Like you mentioned, all of the forgotten things that she was doing, all of that.
How desperate are we as well to see Ronda Rousey as a heel again? I think she does her best stuff as a heel.
She definitely does. I think so too. And Ronda Rousey's promos have always been like a huge topic where people are like, they're not that great or this and that, but they're shades. But it's Ronda Rousey, it baffles me like how much. And I'm just going to say it, like how much the ball has been dropped with Ronda Rousey. When I went to Money in the Bank, the reaction that she got in that building, like it was a fine reaction. But when you start to think about who Ronda Rousey was before WWE and like what a massive star she was, I don't feel like that's the reception that like if Ronda Rousey comes out, like the fans should be like, losing their minds, and that's not happening with Ronda. And I do think that it is, an indicator of them not necessarily, doing the very best with Ronda Rousey. Like she should be somebody that is a big deal. And she is a big deal, right? Because even when Liv Morgan defeated Ronda Rousey, I was shocked that it ended up being Ronda that she ended up pinning. But still, I still feel like it should feel like an even bigger deal, because this isn't just, some girl, no, like this is Ronda Rousey, and she had like a kick-ass career prior to WWE with MMA and everything that she did there.
Ronda Rousey, whilst I know he's busy at the moment with Roman Reigns. Imagine Paul Heyman as Ronda Rousey's mouthpiece.
That would have been amazing. Honestly, that would have been amazing.
They do.
Yes. Yeah. I'm a little bit sad now that that's not a thing. But let's go ahead
I'm sad.
Now we're just depressed. We went from all happy and jolly to now we're just depressed. We got one final match to talk about, and it's a match that none of us have ever seen before. It's the first time. We got Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship.
Lovely beardy boys.
And the last man standing
this time
match.
They've both got beards, and it's a last man standing match.
Whoop, whoop. Tom, on a scale of 1 to 10, what's your interest level?
I mean, it's tough.
Mine's is a 7. Mine's is a solid 7. I think 7's good.
Okay. I'll go 7.2. I think
you're just a little bit more excited than I am.
Maybe. You've got a wedding to focus on. I haven't. I've got this show. But I think that the excitement comes from the fact that it's last man standing. I think my interest peaked in this match where not so much when the regime changed, but when the television guidance changed and how that we've gone from TV PG and we're moving ahead to an era where WWE is TV 14. Now with a last man standing match and TV 14, I don't want to see, right? I'm done with seeing 3-minute spam your finishers, Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns matches. This can't be that. You've got to give us a bit of money here. You've got to give us 20 minutes of you two just ripping the stadium apart, like pulling chairs out of seats, ripping the ramp up. I want Brock Lesnar to push over a merchandise stand and then eat 10 hot dogs before putting Roman Reigns through the ground. Like, I just need this just to be an arena-wide massacre with these two. Just like, if we could get away with it, if it was cinematic, I want Brock Lesnar to lift the stadium up and tilt Roman Reigns over it. This has got to just be beyond. They've got to just, this has got to be Godzilla versus King Kong. If it's last man standing, if it's the main event of your pay-per-view, if this is spam your finishers for 3 minutes and lie down for 10 seconds, then what was the point? The loser has to be buried under rubble from the stadium to stay down for 10 seconds. It has to be just destructive and demonic and aggressive, maybe a bit bloody and gory. I think it has to be, because everybody is so worn down by this match and these matches that they've had that you've got to give us a reason to go, oh, I was mistaken for being, worn down and jaded by these matches. This was phenomenal. And it could be Lesnar's final time here. We've heard stories of Lesnar being unhappy that Vince has gone. Speculation that sort of, he came back at the behest of Vince, and maybe this could be the last time we see Lesnar for a while, if ever. So go out swinging, 20 minutes, destroy a building, raise Nashville to the ground. I think that but then I think coming out of the wreckage, it has to be Roman Reigns. It has to be. I don't see if Brock Lesnar beats Roman Reigns for both belts, what was the point of the last 2 years?
So I gotta tell you, your description of what you want, really made me get a little bit sad, because now that's all I want to see. Because I mean, I completely agree with you. I cannot disagree whatsoever. I want to see the same thing. I want to see, again, with the added, last man standing, I want to see them go all over and just wreck hell and just basically do cool stuff, that's the thing. That stuff, is so interesting. We were talking about, what was it, Anarchy in the Arena for AEW. I got to be there for that, and it was so freaking cool because you got the music, you had everybody fighting in different places, you had people in the concession stands, backstage, and all by the soundboard, by the production area, all of this cool stuff. And obviously this is not the same thing as that, but I still think that it should, with you painting that vision of them, Brock Lesnar and his 15 hot dogs and this and that, I'm sold, man. That is something that I think that they can do to, just make things a little bit more different, because that's what we're going to need. Given how many times we've seen Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar, we need something that's a little bit more different. At the end of the day, seeing two men literally wreck hell, across the building is going to be interesting, regardless whether or not you've seen it 100 times or not.
I think it has to be that. And do you see, I know we talked about him earlier, we talked about Theory. With all of this carnage, do you still see Theory cashing in?
God, oh God. As long as it's a failed cash in, I really do not care. I don't think I'm going to pop. Maybe I'll have the, every time somebody runs in with a briefcase, you're probably going to get a little okay, what are we going to do? Where are we going over here? You're going to get a little excited, right? But not excited in the sense where I'm oh my God, I want Theory to defeat Roman Reigns or something like that. No, I'm going to be more so excited just to see what the hell is going to actually happen on the show, but not because, I want this to be the outcome.
Absolutely.
Tom?
I think the Theory give him a hiding through all of this, I think is going to be Theory getting a hiding from both of them would be fun. And that has to be the way that we say goodbye to Theory at the top and build him up. But again, coming out of the wreckage, it has to be Roman Reigns.
Exactly. Alrighty. So we've definitely gone way past this hour, but I want to thank you so much, Tom, for doing this show with me and kind of running down all 8 matches that we're going to be seeing at SummerSlam. My last question to you before we go ahead and wrap this up is, what match are you most looking forward to out of the 8 that we just discussed?
Do you know what? The one that I'm excited about is the one that we haven't talked about, and that is what could potentially take
Riddle
place
and
with Seth Rollins. Yeah. So that one, though, I mean, they've planted a little seed there that says we're going to see Seth on the night, and I'm intrigued to see what Seth does. I put it out there into the universe because Seth is there going, I busted my bottom to be at SummerSlam. One day you'll hear me. And then Triple H is quote retweeted going, I hear you. Which has made us think that maybe there's going to be something happen there. I think Seth's going to come out. I think Triple H is going to have an opponent ready for him. And I think that opponent is going to be Johnny Gargano. I said it on the predictions on our channel. I said Gargano. He turned up in a video on Impact. And people went, oh, so you're wrong then? No, I still think I'm right. I still think it's going to be Gargano. If not Gargano, maybe The Fiend does something there. All the other matches I'm pumped for overall, but that particular circumstance, what we see play out there, I think that is where my eye is for SummerSlam.
You know, Tom, I like your ideas. Can you book the show? I like a lot of your ideas.
I would love to book this show. I'd love to book SummerSlam.
Send your resume in. Have you been applying? Have you put any effort into applying? Because come on, you could be head of creative.
I would love to be head of creative. Have they got any vacancies? I might DM Trips since he quote retweeted me a while ago. Maybe we're still pals. Who knows?
I mean, you should make like a pact with Vince or something.
Denise, can you not put a word in? You're more in with the in crowd. You've done videos and stuff for him. You're more in with the in crowd.
I'll make sure that your resume is at the top of the pile. I'm gonna make sure that it's like the first one it's seen and put a really great recommendation in there.
We'll talk about it at your wedding. We'll definitely talk about it at your wedding when I come this weekend. We definitely will.
Well, there you go, guys. This was our show brought to you by DraftKings. Friendly reminder once again, guys, the link for you guys to go ahead and download the DraftKings app is in the description box below of this video. Use the code Salcedo. Please, it would really mean a lot to me if you guys did that, and hopefully DraftKings will be bringing more videos to you here on this channel. So depending on how this video does in regards to how much interactions they get and all of that. So please click on the link, download DraftKings app, and use the promo code Salcedo, please. Alrighty. Other than that, before we go, Tom, please promote yourself. Let the people know where they can find you.
Now people know where I am. It's Cultaholic. Let's promote Denise Salcedo because genuinely, Denise, like you put everything into what you do. And I know that I came here to attempt to throw you off the rails. I kind of did with a shonky internet connection. That wasn't the plan, and I apologize for that. But genuinely, like, when it comes to people who put stuff out and create content for wrestling and other things, like Denise is a grafter, and that's coming from me. Like, Denise is an absolute grafter, and I have so much admiration and respect for what Denise does. And if you're discovering her for the very first time, a grafter is somebody that works very, very hard.
Okay, I didn't know that.
And if you're finding Denise for the very first time, then please subscribe. Do what you need to do to support Denise, because genuinely we need more people like Denise doing stuff like this, because she is exceptional at what she does, and she's genuinely somebody that you should look towards. So you know where I am, but support Denise is what I would say there. And she's got a wedding to pay for this weekend as well, which I'm excited to be attending. I look forward to seeing you there. Me and Sean Ross Sapp are going to do our interpretive dance at the evening do, which we've been planning for months now. Sean Ross Sapp and I, we have got a piece from The Greatest Showman. It's the bit with they're dancing on the bar. We're doing that. We've been, again, rehearsing it for months. I've been flying out for months to rehearse it with Sean. He knows it's happening. But support Denise Salcedo. Support everything about instant culture and everything that Denise does. It's been a lovely time. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for all the nice words. I feel like you're my Paul Heyman now. I appreciate this. I'm your Roman Reigns, head of the table. I appreciate this collaboration. Tom, seriously, thank you so much for taking the time to do the show with me once again. Thank you to everybody who's watching. Please, like Tom said, subscribe to this channel. More content to come just like this and lots more. Besides that, thank you guys so much for watching. Give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye, everyone.